Okay, so the next one you found difficult was question 5C, question 4C. So I'll just write that in here. So question 4C, it was simultaneous equations, and it had one linear equation and one non-linear equation. Okay, so remember, linear is when the exponent is, there's no like squared or cubed, and non-linear here we have x squared, y squared, so that's non-linear. Okay, so our steps for these is one, to rearrange the linear equation so that we find one variable in terms of the other. So if possible at all, we try and just get the variable that has a coefficient of 1 on a side by itself. So here the y is a minus 1y, so we're going to try and get y in terms of x. So my linear equation was 2x minus y is equal to 10. So I'm going to try and move the x's over the other side. So I'm going to have to minus 2x from this side, so I have to minus 2x from the other side. So then I'm left with minus y is 10 minus 2x. Okay, I don't want minus y, I want plus y. So I'm going to divide by a minus 1. Okay, if I divide by minus 1, I have to divide everything by minus 1. And then I'll be left with y is equal to minus 10 plus 2x. Okay, I can also write that as y is equal to 2x minus 10. Okay, so whichever way you want to write it is perfect. And then we sub this back in to the nonlinear equation. So my nonlinear equation was x squared plus y squared is equal to 20. So I'm going to put in this for the y. So I have x squared plus, and then I have 2x minus 10 being squared equal to 20. Okay, so this is being squared, it's being multiplied by itself. So I'm going to rewrite this out to remember to multiply it by itself correctly. I'm going to write it as 2x minus 10 by 2x minus 10. Okay, equal to 20. So when I go to multiply that out, so I have to multiply everything in the first bracket by everything in the second bracket. So 2x by 2x is 4x squared. Then I have 2x by the minus 10, so it's going to give me minus 20x. Then I have minus 10 by 2x, so that's going to give me minus 20x. And I have a minus 10 by minus 10, so that's plus 100. Okay, and then I had the equals 20, so I'm just going to carry that down, equals 20. Okay, so I'm just going to simplify this as much as possible. So I have an x squared and a plus 4x squared, so that's going to give me 5x squared. Then I have my minus 20x and a minus 20x, so that's going to give me minus 40x. And then this is looking like it's going to be a quadratic, so I want it to equal 0, so I'm going to carry that 20 over to the other side. So I'm going to say minus 20 there, minus 20, so I'll end up with plus 80 is equal to 0. Okay, so this is a nice quadratic, because usually we want the coefficient of the squared variable to be 1. Here it's 5, but we notice that we can actually divide across by 5, because 5 goes into 5, it goes into minus 40, and it goes into 80 and 0. Okay, so I'm going to divide every term here by 5 so that the coefficient of my squared variable is 1. Okay, so I'm going to have x squared minus 8x plus 16 is equal to 0. Okay, so now I have a nice quadratic. I'm going to try and find things that multiply to give me 16, that add to give me minus 8. So I have 1 and 16. I'm just going to list out my factor pairs. 2 and 8, 4 and 4, and that's it. Okay, they are multiplying to give me a plus 16, which means the two signs need to be the same, and they're adding to give me a minus 8, which means the two signs are going to be minuses. So I'm going to use 4 and 4, and it's going to be a minus 4 and a minus 4. Okay, so I'm going to open up my brackets. I have x, and x equals 0, and then I have my minus 4 and minus 4 built in. Okay, so both of these brackets are the exact same. So I have x minus 4 equals 0, and I don't really need to bother writing out x minus 4 equals 0 again, because it's going to give me the exact same value for x. Okay, so I'm just going to solve this one, x equals 4. So there is a minus 4 in the way of having x on the side by itself, so I'm going to get rid of that by adding 4, and I'll get x is equal to 4. Okay, it's not finished yet, because I only have my x value. I need to sub it back into one of my original equations to get my y value. So usually it's just easier to use the linear equation. So I have 2x minus y is equal to 10. So I'm going to fill in what I know x is there. So 2 times 4 minus y is equal to 10. So I have 8 minus y is equal to 10. Okay, so I'm going to find what y is by just moving this 8 across. So I'll minus 8 from both sides. And I'll be left with minus y is equal to 2. Okay, so I don't want minus y, I want a plus y. So I'm going to divide both sides by minus 1. And I'll get that y is equal to minus 2. Okay, so just to make it really clear then for the examiner, we don't really use red pen in the exam, but I'll just put a box around my x and y, and if you want, you can write it as a point. So your x value first and then your y value. Okay, so remember, we write those in alphabetical order.